Greetings, I am Wham Bam Ghoul, and welcome to my explanation of Spell Commander's latest deck profile, a Halloween-themed Ghostrick character-style deck. I highly recommend watching his gruesome video first, as this one is meant to go more into depth with some of the choices made when creating this deck. This one's not too tough to explain. Obviously, I wanted to include one of every Ghostrick card, with an additional Siren to have a second level 4, and an additional Mary to help get more Ghostricks out of the deck. Quickly pivoting to cover some cards not in the deck. There's Hallow, the Great Spirit of Tricks, Ween, the Great Spirit of Treats, and the spell card, Trick or Treat, which searches them. When these cards were first revealed, I wasn't inclined to include them, as they had only just been revealed a couple weeks before today, and I figured the deck would still be perfectly themed without them. Then they got put into Master Duel soon after, and by the time that happened, we ran out of time to change up the deck. These three cards are, naturally, perfectly Halloween themed, so if you want to build a version of this deck using those cards, I wouldn't blame you. For the spell cards, I wanted some generic field spell-rated support with Terraforming, Pop-Up, and Murmur of the Forest. Pop-Up is here because it helps to get field spells, and has a similar cute aesthetic to the Ghostricks, even including some Halloween-style art on the card itself. Murmur of the Forest is a great way to flip down a monster, but bouncing field spells is also helpful, as it can help you swap between field spells without the need to send any to the graveyard. The Blood Moon on this card also gives it a somewhat spooky vibe. Foolish Burial, in addition to having some spooky theming to it, is an all-around good card, so it's a shoo-in for this deck. While it's clearly Sub-Terra themed, Terrors of the Hidden City was just too good for this deck to pass it up. For the remaining spells, we wanted to confront Yu-Gi-Oh! Players' biggest fear: reading! Also, these 4 book spells are just generally good to have in a deck focused on flipping monsters up and down. I considered adding in Book of Life to have another one, but there are too few zombies in the deck. For the non-Ghostrick traps, I mostly just wanted to add in 1 or 2 more good cards that would already fit in a regular Ghostrick deck, with Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon and Metaverse. With the extra deck, we just wanted 3 of each Ghostrick Xyz and the link to be available to the player, since multiples of them are generally pretty good for the deck anyways. But there's still the option to swap any of them out for the other extra deck cards in the side deck. I figured Zombie Synchros and Fiend-type Nightmare Link monsters would be pretty fitting for a Halloween-y deck. There are undead versions of other cards, such as Scapegoat, mirroring Scapegoat, Immortal Dragon, mirroring Coral Dragon, Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon, an evolution of the original Red Eyes Zombie Dragon that mirrored Red Eyes Black Dragon, and Skeletal Dragon Felgrand, whose effects suggest that it more specifically mirrors Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, with its ability to banish a monster from the field or the graveyard. Then there's Uni-Zombie, which is not only one of the best zombies in the game, but also has that cute, spooky aesthetic to go with the Ghostricks. Jack-O-Bolon is probably the best pumpkin monster to fit the bill of this deck, considering that Pump King and Pump Princess aren't very good at all. Shamisen Samsara Sorrowcat is also sort of a cute, spooky monster, and can be summoned with Scapegoat. For the back row in the side deck, we wanted more cards that could interact with the vast amount of creepy cards in this deck, such as Allure of Darkness, which works perfectly with all of the darkness brewing in this deck, Shifting Shadows, to confuse and disorient the opponent with our face-down monsters, and cards to interact with fiend and zombie monsters in this deck alike, with Spirit Shield and Haunted Zombies. Obviously, this deck is meant to be another character deck type list, and isn't meant to be taken seriously for competitive play. Spell Commander and I just wanted to start making fun bonus decks for holidays that still fit the style of our character decks. We're on the lookout for any suggestions for a Christmas deck in the comments, so let us know your thoughts. My personal idea would be something to do with the Starry Night cards. Until next time, I've been Wham Bam Ghoul, and I'm always happy to scare ya.